Hi, my name is Frank Kane. I'm the owner of Sundog Software. And I want to share with you kind of my story on how I managed to quit my day job and run my own software company for a living. I hope it'll help some other people out there. 3 years ago, I had a pretty good career as a technology manager at Amazon.com and IMDb.com, and kind of a dream job for a lot of people in my position. But, circumstances forced me to leave that. I had to move to Florida for stuff with my family. But I've made it work. I mean, these days I'm actually earning over $300,000 a year out of my own company just working for myself. And that money's growing year after year after year. And it's really caused my life to be better than I could ever have dreamed. I don't have to deal with a commute every day. I don't have to deal with meetings. I don't have to deal with working when other people say I need to work. I can run my life on my own schedule, on my own terms. And it's really been transformative. And I want other people to be able to achieve the same thing. Now, I've written a book on the subject, and although I'd love you to go buy it, the link is in the description here. It's called Self-Employment, Building an Internet Business of One, and it goes into a lot more detail than I will in this video, but the important thing to me is not so much that you buy my book, but that you gain some advice on how to actually make this work for you. So if you're in a similar situation, you're working for a technology company and you have the skills to actually go out on your own and start your own software company potentially, here are some main tips. So the first thing is to understand the difference between a lifestyle business and a growth business. Now, you may be thinking that the only path to self-employment is to go and get a bunch of seed money from angel investors or venture capitalists to go start your money and hire a bunch of people that you can't really afford to pay yet and promise everybody stock options and hope that you get bought by Google or somebody later on. Well, that's the path that you always hear about in the media, but it turns out a much more common business is just the self-employed lifestyle business, a business that just exists for your own personal lifestyle maximization. So if you don't want to deal with the hassle of hiring people and firing people and dealing with their benefits and all of that stuff and having a physical office that you need to go to every day from 9 to 5 to babysit these people and see what they're doing all the time, there is another path. You can design a business for yourself that can be run by you alone. And that's what I did with Sundog Software. Now, a key thing for mitigating risk when you're doing this, you don't want to bet the farm. You don't want to just quit your day job and hope for the best. What I did was I started testing my own business on the side while I was still working at my day job. And that may sound like an intimidating thing to do, like a lot of work, but you have to remember that slow and steady wins the race. It may take years to try out your idea and to develop it on the side and put it out to a little test market and see how it does. But as long as you're investing a few hours every week into developing your product and actually getting it out there and measuring its results, after some amount of time, it might be a year or two, it might be a few months, depending on the complexity of your idea, but you will eventually have something that's ready to go to market that you can test and try out. And only when you've actually put your product in the market and determined that it does in fact have an audience and has the potential to pay your bills, should you be thinking about actually turning in your notice. That's the responsible way to do it. That doesn't involve betting your livelihood and the livelihood of your family in the process. The other nice thing is that it doesn't require a whole bunch of seed money up front because you're developing the product while you're still getting a paycheck from your day job. So you don't need a bunch of venture capital. You can start this venture entirely on your own money with using nothing but your own time. And then when you start your business full time, you don't owe anybody anything. Every bit of profit you make will be your own because you don't have any investors because you never needed them in the first place. Very important point. So once you do quit, if you do get to that point, congratulations, you're on a path to a much better lifestyle. Some things to remember is you want to design your business such that it's around building products and not services. If you start working as a freelancer or a contractor, that's okay. That's a good way to kind of make sure that your bills get paid in the meantime and get a steady revenue stream going. But that's not a really good long-term strategy for your business. You're still just trading your time for money. And you'll only be able to grow your business up to the limit of how much time you have. And that is a finite thing. You can never have more time in the day than you have right now. Now, a much more scalable way to grow a business is to actually develop a product that you sell online to the entire world. The entire world can then be your market. You can market to anyone on the planet. And the beautiful thing is there is no upper bound to how many products you can sell. And therefore, there is no upper bound to the amount of money you can make as an entrepreneur when you're selling products instead of services. When you sell services, you're bound by your own time or by the time of the people that you have to hire. And again, we want to avoid hiring people if we can, because that gives you more freedom in your lifestyle. Now, how do you actually grow that product and grow that business over time? Well, again, it's key to make sure that your product has a global audience and a diverse audience, that you're not depending on one little niche to keep your business alive. And if you can, in fact, sell your product over the internet, over the entire globe, then again, it maximizes the freedom of your lifestyle such that you can live anywhere that has an internet connection. So think about that. You can move someplace with a much lower cost of living and live like a king, right? That's what I did. I moved to Florida and it's a lot cheaper there. I get to enjoy a much higher standard of living than I could somewhere else. And it just becomes then a problem of continually developing new products. Once you put one out there, you're always going to have more of a profit, more of a return in developing new additional products than developing new features on the first product you had. So the more streams of passive income you can generate based on putting out more and more digital products that you can market to the world, they just keep adding up and compounding over time. So, for example, I started off by selling software development kits for cloud and ocean simulation for game developers and simulation and training developers, but I've also branched out and offered add-on packages for consumer flight simulators. I offer courses online through Udemy, and I even wrote a book like the one I'm trying to tell you about right now. So I have multiple streams of income. So if one of my markets or one of my products starts to dry up, it's not a big deal. I have several others that can take their place. So once you are working full-time for yourself, take advantage of all that extra time that you now have and use it to develop new products to both hedge your bets against your old products potentially failing over time, and also to just increase your passive revenue over time. And if you do this for enough years, all these passive revenue streams start to add up, and you just make more and more money, and none of it requires your full-time effort. That's the beauty of it. Once you put a product out there, yeah, there's a little bit of work you need to do to support it, make sure that it remains available and it is continually marketed in a good manner. But by and large, you could get by on like 4 hours a week and still keep your business alive at that point. I could retire tomorrow. I'd be fine for quite some time if I just put in a minimal effort even. That's a very good place to be. Now, the other thing that my book touches on is specific strategies for understanding how to actually grow your market, how to market and sell your digital products effectively. If you're an engineer like me, that doesn't come to you naturally. So I've shared a lot of the things that I learned the hard way about online advertising, search engine optimization, and how to effectively market your stuff online to the entire world. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of things to watch out for because there's a lot of click fraud out there. There's a lot of scams out there in the online advertising world, and you need to know how to identify them and watch out for them. Very important stuff. One final point. Before you take the leap into self-employment, make sure you look into what healthcare is going to cost, especially in the US. It's probably going to be more than you think, especially if you plan on making a decent amount of money on your own. So just know what you're getting yourself into. Right now, your employer covers a lot of things like what you're going to be paying in self-employment tax for Social Security and Medicare benefits, and also for your standard benefits like healthcare, life insurance, disability insurance. You might need some sort of insurance for your business itself as well if you have a physical office. So again, my book gets into the details of how to plan for your budget. Once you're working for yourself, you will have more expenses than you would have had as a full-time employee of some big company. But if you can make the numbers work out, it's very well worth doing. The freedom that I have now and the time that I get to spend with my family and just doing whatever I want to do now is just life-changing. And I hope you can do the same. So again, I hope this video has given you some tips on how to get started with self-employment and how to kind of plan out your strategy for doing that. And if you want more detail, please check out my book. If you have a Kindle, it's only $2.99 in the Kindle store. And sometimes it's on promotions and you can get it even for less than that. So again, my book is called Self-Employment: Building an Internet Business of One by me, Frank Kane. Hope you check it out. If not, I hope this video gave you some good ideas and some good pointers. So thanks for watching.